I'm getting there.
Well, because the first meeting is rules. No, it's finance, right?
Finance rules, yeah.
Got it.
Charlotte's not coming tonight.
Why can't I see? There we go. And. Go.
Okay, it is 6 o'clock, so the finance committee is open for business. What we'll have called to order and roll call by Brian.
Keller,
Present.
McCreary,
Present.
Cosgray,
Present. So we have the mayor, no, he's not here. The VA administrator, the fiscal officer, chief of police, council member Debbie, and assistant VA Tim Little. Okay. Approve the minutes of September the 12th, 2022. Okay. Got a motion by Wade,
I have to abstain.
and I have a second by Chuck Keller, and I'll sign it. I mean, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Now, we'll sign it.
but,
And I apologize. I was here for that because it was the meeting last time, which was
Yeah.
not finance.
Yeah, you was,
So yeah, no, I
yeah,
was here for that. And so I recommend, sorry, yes.
okay.
I do not abstain.
Okay, we'll vote
First that,
again.
please.
All in favor of the motion? of
I
accepting
second
the
that.
minutes? You second it, accepting the minutes?
Yes.
Say aye. Okay, motion carried 3-0.
okay,
Aye. Visitors, Debbie or anybody? No, not now. Okay. For the goals for 2022, which will be coming to an end pretty soon, keep spending within the 2022 appropriations. And I'm sure Brian doing a good job on that. Okay, old business, none. New business, review the monthly financials, and we'll lead off with Brian.
let's see. Looking at page 1 of the reconciliation, as you can see, we ended up with a bank and book balance of $2,417,971.95. We had total receipts of $342,000. We had checks written last month, $640,000. We had one adjustment, one utility bill that did not, that came back non-sufficient. And we had deposit transits of 1107 and outstanding checks of $26,000. Like I said, on page 3, outstanding, there's the outstanding check list, 26,431. And on page 4 is your outstanding receipts with 2 credit card transactions.
And we'll go back to page 3.
Yeah.
And since that's the big figure, 16,000, London Communication.
That was the result of the lightning strike. They fixed that, the tower,
Okay,
for the tower, which we got reimbursed by the insurance company.
Insurance. okay. Yeah, I see that big. I thought bringing it up.
Any other questions on the reconciliation itself? Then after page 4 is the check register. Like I said earlier, we wrote $640,000, $519.42 worth of checks. And
And let's see. Okay, how, is that all the paving
that was
coming
just-
up with the one we've already done?
That was our, the street, the various streets. It had nothing to do with Park Drive.
Okay,
That's on the next page. That's 215,000. Wait, no, the 140, I stand corrected, sorry. The 140,165.40, that was for the Park Drive.
okay,
Okay, the 215,000 was all the other streets we threw in that carried over from the previous year.
okay.
And then there was the Cobblin, $26,000 one. That was for, what was that? That was for those those. That wasn't grinder pumps, was it? Covalent, that was grinder pumps.
Yes.
And then People's Bank, 15,000, that was for the police SUVs. That's on page 5 of the checker. And those SUVs are now ours. We should be getting the titles back in the near future, I would hope. We haven't got them back yet. But that loan is now paid off.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Any more questions about that? Outstanding.
Anything else? So moving on to the finance report. Interest last month was, there's so many lines here. $1,079.22.
Well, that's right. The mayor asked you to do that
Yeah, I did.
every year, you know. I see
I
that.
haven't figured out how to rearrange it, so the years are in order, but it's there.
Looking good, going straight up. We like when it goes straight up.
Yeah.
They up too.
Rita last month was $83,947.26. And sure. I know it's not funny, but just give you an idea. Because I keep track of where we stand in relation to last year. This is with Rita only. We are now $12,009, almost $13,000 ahead of last year at this, as of this time in September. So we're up 1.7% from last year. That's Rita. There's other things they do in there. I get checks once, not really a check. The State Department of Taxation periodically just deposits money in our bank account for municipal net profits. As those are the businesses that don't file with Rita, they file through the state.
Oh,
They're allowed to do that, but Rita gets notified of it in the state whenever they collect, they remit to us. So it doesn't amount to very much money, but over the course of the year. our extra stuff. Appropriation status, as you see now, the street department, I think last month was like 30%. Now there's at close to 75% after those two big checks for the street paving work. 75% is the benchmark, and as you can see, all the other funds are.
Yeah, we're 3/4 of the year over, so.
And as you can see on the revenue side too, all in the general fund, really all the funds. We are where we should be at this time. And finally, the last page, or last, is the appropriations report. As you can see, we're at 63%. You passed legislation to increase street lighting, so that should get us through the rest of the year for that. Like I said, yeah. There's a street fund, they're now 74.8% because we have paid $397,000 worth of street paving work this year. That's all I have. Any questions?
So Brian, so the pool fund, you have at 71%.
That's correct.
That's where we can bid.
No, wait, no. Well, that'll increase a little more. I mean, basically, I still pay electricity over there. I still pay a phone. There's still an outstanding purchase order for website. They share the cost of that. But the bulk of the money that hasn't been spent there in the pool fund is, we did receive a check for 22,000.
22,000.
We did receive that check. I don't know, I mean, I know what the projects are, I know which ones we're going to carry over next year have been added to the budget, but if there's anything that we need to order for the pool this year,
Maintenance, that's,
I'm talking about the umbrella stuff,
that we need to work.
but we have the money for that.
Yes, now we do. Because we received a separate 5,000 bill.
And then I received another $5,000 donation from the Baltimore area CIC.
And then you're gonna use it for a new umbrella, is that what you're saying, or umbrella for the shade?
The umbrellas, for the shade, the
Shade.
umbrella shade project, the umbrellas went up in cost, so with that nice little 5,000 check from the CIC.
Okay. You may have any questions, Brian?
No.
I need a motion to accept the financial report.
I'll second.
Got a motion, we got a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Brian,
Oh, you want?
roll call.
Oh, Keller.
Yes.
McCreary.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay, motion carried. Finance approvers, yes, approved.
I didn't know if you did the.
Okay, resolution 2022-38, ODNR grant application.
Yeah, this was, we're applying for another federal, it's a federal grant through the ODNR to plant more trees.
Okay, I
Same.
wonder what, I'm reading, I wonder what that's for.
It's
Plant
the
trees.
same one we passed last year. The grant application deadline is Friday.
So we need to
We
pass
need,
that.
we need to pass this tonight.
Okay, I need a sponsor for that tonight. You guys want to sponsor it? It is on the agenda. for
I'll
tonight.
sponsor.
Okay.
Speaking of, you did submit the other one, right? The other, the close date of this year's grant out.
No, I haven't closed that.
Okay, so emergency legislation.
But we need to bypass the
And then do you
reading
want me to submit
and
this
then
one,
just
or-
make a motion to adopt.
I don't know. You can submit.
Okay, but then I'll put your-
I didn't want to do it. Okay, the mayor, or the.
No, my name's on that too.
The mayor, you want to call it. Okay, Randy's going to. Sponsor.
I'm gonna
that.
sponsor.
Okay.
Yes.
Did did we make a motion yet?
To,
Take it to council?
no,
Okay, do I hear a motion, take it to council?
Yes, I'm gonna.
Second that motion.
Okay, any question on the motion? Roll call, Brian.
Cosgrave,
Yes.
McCreary,
Yes,
Keller.
Yes, no, resolution 2022-38 will be sponsored by Brandy McCreary and will be going to council tonight. All right. Oh, okay, that's about it. Anything else under new business? Chief, or anybody else have anything? Bring up on finance, nothing. Okay. All right. Okay,
I might well bring something up. I did get some information today from our health insurance carrier today about next year's insurance quotes. Rates are going up, but not as severe as last year. Last year went up, if you recall, 26%. This year it's roughly 6%, 5.9%. Huh?
It's more normal.
But we are doing our due diligence, and we have reached out to employees. We had another insurance broker reach out to us about a month ago, and we're in the process of, maybe we might be able to get some insurance through Ohio Municipal League. I'm currently waiting on Chief Tussey and Mr. Holbrook and Devin Holm to fill out the paperwork. which they'll get to me this week, so I can get to them, so we can get some quotes from them. And we'll do some comparisons.
So good. Anything else?
I cannot think of anything else.
If not, nobody else have anything else with finance committee tonight? Hearing none, next meeting will be November the 14th at 6 p.m. This meeting is adjourned.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause. Stop video for now.
Yes.
Oh, I hit pause.
And then the time. There's something I need to do, I'll scratch over here. Like, hey,
I did. That's a good question. Maybe this would be a better question from a better body, but I am interested. So there's a lot of money that the village has been able to utilize that was, I guess, accessible through grants. So who is the person generally that goes out searching for these grants? Has it been you? Thank you. That has saved the village a
Oh,
lot
okay.
of money.
It has.
Speaking of grants, my wife is looking for grants for the tow path. It has to be getting like a bike path. You know, we, I guess, I don't know what's the word, transferred like the development of the tow path and stuff to the county parks at one time.
I don't believe we gave them permission for development.
Well, for improvement, I guess that's what I'm.
So in response to Judith's email, that is going to have to be a joint grant.
Right.
So because while we do own a lot of the property along the canal, there are places we don't. So it'd be like bike path, stop, and then private property.
Jump over this.
Yeah, and I will tell you, a very, very good person to work with on that will be Jeff. This is Jeff's vision. Jeff's vision is to have that path. Jeff does sit on the board for the parks. So this will be a good person, but that project is gonna take a lot of planning and it has to be a joint effort. So it's going to have to be probably, and that'll be the mayor's call, but it'll probably be like a task team when we get together, because that's going to be quite the project. And that's not something that you can put together in a year.
Right.
It's gonna take a couple of years at best to put that together.
She's got a couple of grant opportunities that one of them's, I guess, a little more time sensitive. But she was gonna try to work with Landis and his nonprofit also. So it would have to be coordinated between like the county parks, the village, the nonprofit, and I wasn't aware that there was private property involved. in that
There
too,
are
so-
a couple of places that there are either easements or they're owned by people. But yeah, my suggestion would just to get a meeting and bring it together. But going back to your grants, yes, I was able to get the village quite a bit of what I call free money. And that was that report I.
Yeah, which I read through that. I mean, that's impressive. So I would like to see the comparison before you were on board. Previous years.
It just took out loans.
I mean, that needs to be pointed out though. That's millions of dollars that
It
was
was nice
saved.
about it, right? And do you know who noticed that? My new village.
Well, I mean, I noticed it,
Totally.
but that's what I'm, that is impressive. Something should be said. But again, we should go back and point out previously, before you were here, things were paid via loans.
Yeah.
So that's being taken for granted then, that $6 million and
It's a,
grant money.
it's not easy. You have, one thing you've got going for you is number one, a great team who is full of information and a great engineering company. If I could scoop up the team and Mike Green and take them with me, I would.
Oh, no.
Because the cooperation among all of them really, really helps. I go find the grants and then we sit around and we say, okay, can we do this?
Utilize.
Mhm. Yeah, so, and sometimes they come with suggestions and say, can we do this? I mean, Tim's vision that he had is to get the older part of the village, the northwest section, all the streets completed. And with the Washington water line, that's 600,000. And that was quite a long time to go after that grant. Joey put a lot of hours in with getting that grant. But, and then Brian and Mr. L are following up. They've already had a meeting about how they're going to do it. So
But when you went through those figures, I saw that 6 million, that figure, and I was like, wow. So in my mind, I was thinking, how does that compare to previous administrations? That's what I was wondering,
Well,
so
yeah.
that,
But Wade's right, we had a lot of, and that was my promise to council when I first started, and to the village, that I would not take out any loans. And did Brian, we did it, didn't we?
Yeah, that was one of my goals when I came in here, was
I mean,
to
we-
not engulf this village in
Any more
any
debt?
So-
more debt.
you guys have done an amazing job then of saving
Now,
the village.
that's not to
millions
say
of
we haven't
dollars.
taken out a couple loans.
We have taken
We
out
have
loans, but we paid them off. I mean, they were easy loans to pay off, like the chief's cars.
Right,
We took out a loan for one of the trucks or two of
one of the
Both.
trucks. Was it both?
But those were paid off in short time and they're coming from a fund that has the money to pay them off. That's what we're not sure of. But as far as, yeah,
But we had to take out one OPWC loan
for the.
this year. It was with one of the projects.
But again,
It was for the Fremont Coomer Brown project.
right, for the water, because that was small government. So what happened is I pushed the envelope by turning in 2 OPWC projects. That's unusual. Usually entities, unless they're a county, only turn in 1. I put in 2. So they were able to do the park drive. But when it came to the loop project, we had to go through small government, and small government requires you to take a small portion of the money into a loan. The state has money coming out of their ears for loans,
Right. it's a
not
loan,
for
no,
just to
not a
give
grant.
it to you.
0 interest.
Well, yeah, it's 0 interest, but it's still a loan.
So how do we compare to other municipalities of our
Well, my
comparable
husband,
size?
I wish my husband was here, but he's over.
Well, one of the first things I did when I got here was, I want to know how much debt we have.
Right.
So I got this massive spreadsheet. I think I could probably.
Also, the amortization schedule.
Yeah, this is the big massive spreadsheet I've been working with since
Yeah,
2008.
that we look at
Yeah,
when we set up our budget, right?
yeah. So this is the 2018, let's say. Right there, that number right there was 11,291,000 is what we owed
That wise.
debt wise, that principal and interest. 2023. That's next year. As you can see, I've already started for next year. 7 million.
That's
So-
outstanding.
So we've been
That's-
going down just by the fact that we're
Right.
not taking out additional loans.
Thank
And
you,
that's
thank
so
you for.
important.
Now, the big savings on that number right there was when we refinanced
The bond.
the bonds.
Okay, yes.
That saves $600,000 in interest costs alone.
But to your question, my husband's been in the business for over 30 years. And I've beaten and every place that he's been. Our village here got more loans and, more grants as he ever has been able to get.
Debbie, I was asking Terry about the acquisition of the over $6 million in grants that they've been able to attain with this administration. So I was just curious in regards to the prior administration, the difference, and so they decreased our debt by over 4 million.
Now, what's line's that? Okay, in 2028, believe it or not, the sewer plant will be paid off in about 5 years.
So is everybody gonna be happy then? Is that where that sewer debt's gonna
Yeah.
go away on the bills?
That'd be a
Now-
big part of the bit.
I'd like to incorporate in this year's budget, since we're building a little cash flow in the debt service funds. I'd like to be able to pay off a couple. I was going to last year, but I don't know what happened. I got my numbers screwed up. It just didn't happen this year. Like for instance, one of these OPWC loans, because they're 0% interest. I mean, there's a $35,000 loan there. Of course, that's water debt service, street resurfacing. And these were, I don't know what years these were taken out in. But my goal here is to pay a couple of these off if we can, which we can, I believe we can. That'll free up more money and we might be able to lower some of the debt service charge. I'd have to do an analysis.
But
on-
before we do that, let's talk about that, all
Yes,
right?
right.
Because prior to this administration that I've been a part of, we did no preventive maintenance at the wastewater treatment plant.
Right.
Consequently, most of the property out there most of the equipment out there was original stuff. So what's happened, it's like a car, it's been run to the end. And so now that's why Brad has so many needs in that area. So I would caution, this is my caution, and I've said this to Brian before, I'm okay with wanting to pay off loan, but not to pay off loan to the point you're sacrificing preventing maintenance and letting that plant to get up where it needs to be. I mean, look at it right now. We have 3 running in auto and it's just running so well that we can have rain now and don't experience an overflow. So that we have to keep, it's a balance, you know what I'm saying? So maybe a little here, a little there, and we've already did the budget. So,
Yeah, but when I talk about reducing, I'm talking about the debt charge on the utility bills, not the actual. I mean, that stuff's paid out of those improvement funds and the sewer fund. I'm talking about what we charge the residents to retire this debt. If we can pay off 1 or 2, one from each, let's say 1 from water debt service, 1 from sewer debt service, because that money can only be used to retire debt anyway. And it can't be used for preventive maintenance and anything else. We might be able to lower the debt, like go from $33 to $30. Maybe go from 15 to 14. I don't know what that number is right now. I mean, I can continue to look into it, but I'm not saying take away from the 3% increase from from water charge to sewer. That's needed. That is needed because we have maintenance, yes. Yes.
Yeah, and the other thing is, Brad's big project on the press. I can tell you, the press for the sludge, that was supposed to be the phase 1 that never was there. And that is a big deal to the operation of the wastewater treatment plant. So that's a big project.
That was part of the bid and part of the original, why was it never put in?
Well, just think about it. We had all the trouble with groundwater from the water when I first got here. And then and the engineering company that we hired said the missing step was they took away the aeration step. Somebody wanted to reduce the amount of the project, so they just slashed it. Yes, and that is why, we've had to do so many different adjustments. I mean, Joey finally has got that all under control, but that was a part of the original plan and they just took it out to save money. And which I think has happened with this legend. There was something else. What was the other one that they took out? There was something else. I don't mean to put you on the spot.
At the wastewater treatment plant,
Yeah.
they had that, we were it was recycling the bugs back and, what I'm trying to say? Where would, that recirculation of that mixed liquor back in.
And stuff comes in from the digesters. I don't remember exactly what it was. I know we're supposed to have 2 sludge tanks for us. And that would recycle everything back to the head of the plant as we need water that sludge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that helps to maintain the colony.
Exactly. Yeah, because we're bringing it right back in. We're
Exactly.
wasting it out of the plant and we're bringing that colony back in.
Yeah. So your retention.
No,
is-
Chuck's in
Oh,
charge.
I'd like to send somebody at the door. Oh.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there were some missing pieces that were never put into. Yeah, and again, they probably came to council and said, hey, we don't need this, let's just take this out. You
Not
know,
understanding
unless
the
you get really educated, you would think,
Yeah.
wow, that's a big
Oh, you
thing.
don't need that.
We don't need it, let's take it out, you know, and that's why I've always, Jeff's always teased me about, timing my talks at council, because I just think you need to know all of that. So, yeah.
It's like. Speaking of cutting that, your production and production capacity, you have to pay attention to your production capacity, because if you run everything till it breaks and then you have large capital outlay to replace, and you have your productions down, so, yeah.
Yeah, it's still repairing or replacing. Things like that.
We're waiting on Mr. Foreman because Darla's not coming tonight either.
Well, that's what I was wondering, is he coming? Usually he's here
that's
by,
what
because
the
it starts at
mayor told
6:30.
Really 4:45.
Oh.
But he usually gets here about,
I was gonna say
It's
usually.
fine.
He just said Rick's running rules tonight for Darla.
Okay.
But it was a good conversation with this guy. I am positive that you will get a good person and they will do the same.
Well, thanks for your work.
I appreciate
Diligence.
It's one of those silent things. You do a lot of work behind the scenes that people don't realize until you come forward and say, oh, okay, so I need this ordinance. We're gonna do this. Just like the FEMA 5-year plan. I mean, I have to give credit to Mr. Cosgrave because I did not get an invite to that brainstorming session that was mandatory for you to be there. So when Wade brought it up to me, I thought, well, this is weird. Why would someone not tell me?
Mhm.
So when I saw John, I had said to John, John, I didn't get invited back. I said, you should have, you were on my distribution list. I go, I didn't. So I was able to get in like 2 days before the mandatory meeting, so I made it in. So I think it just takes everybody a while, It'll be good. You guys will survive. This is a good village. Again, I wish I could take everybody with me.
May I ask for?
Senator.
Well, I wish you well.
I have another week and 1 day.
Okay.
You'll be ready then, right?
Sure.
He's doing good. He's doing good.
I was quite impressed with how much work that she did. Saying it because she's sitting there, but it was like, here it is. Whoosh.
Yeah, when you see those figures though, that money saved, the grants
Thank
that
you.
were found, that's a lot. $6 million is a lot.
Mr. Ricky, you know that you're in charge.
Yes, I take the finance.
Mhm.
And the mayor's not coming tonight, so Mr. Chuck's in charge.
Ready to get things
I
going.
think, Brian, I think I might need batteries. I did last week, anyway. I don't know why. There we go.
Okay, so I'm saying for something.
I just had this thing on.
I was always scared.
It's like I turn it on at home all the time and on immediately. And I
You
get
get it
here
going.
every time. I can't even.
No, it's acting okay now.
Work
Last
behind
week
the
it was
home.
out unless
So I
somebody
find you
changed it. in the
close it down.
meantime.
count
Your lights
20,
That's-
and it'll go back up and come on.
Last week it kept going off.
I was having.
Well, I had control alt delete, then I shut it down, and I'll open back up 20
Oh,
seconds, and
no.
come on.
Okay.
Mine's been fine after the updates.
Well,
Well, mine went out last meeting, so.
The phone rang, I closed it down, went in, phone come back up.
They'll be like, have you read your things lately? Because I'll get on there, but I already have 2 computers. I am not carrying this one with me. all the time.
Yeah.
And I do not
What's-
have it
what's
on my
everything
phone. I
is?
do not want it on my phone.
I like put it on my phone, I don't even know how.
I do not want it on my phone.
Cause I don't know how to put this email, or whatever.
Yeah, because most of these things, we're not supposed to open on anything except our device anyway, so I just choose not.
Chuck wants to say that.
I printed copies.
I took them on
I'm
the.
sorry.
I
Printed
some.
copies in my.
There's a lot of use of that pen.
Brian, just go ahead.
Do you-
I haven't.
Well,
Here,
what happened-
I have some.
Do you?
Oh, no,
Just go ahead and call the meeting
Yeah,
to
it's
order.
good.
Gosh, Rick.
It won't come on.
It just-
It's,
Brian, will you have these?
it's a brick.
please?
Shut it way down, hit control alt delete. Oh, you did that, okay.
Well, I have stuff, oh, I was gonna say, I still print it out.
Yeah, I think- all right, well, that's.
Okay. Okay, so let me hit the recording here. Hey, where's, there we go. I did it, there we go. There we go.
Okay, the rules committee is called to order, the roll call.
Reedy's absent, Schaffner,
Present for me.
Present. Also in attendance, we have Terry Wise, the village administrator at this time, Chief of Police Tussey, Brian Bidley, the fiscal officer, and the mayor is absent. Have you looked over the minutes?
I have. Would you like a motion?
Make a motion.
I would move that we accept the minutes as written from the September 12th, 2022 meeting.
And form in second.
Oh, wait,
what?
I take it back.
Oh,
Okay,
I can't. I have to abstain.
you weren't here.
I wasn't here.
Okay.
It's in the next meeting.
Yeah, it's gonna stick to the next meeting. Because we don't have to approve. Okay, there's no visitors here, so we move on to goals and employee evaluation form. I'm not sure where we're at.
Well, we're not. I have not had time to complete those. So we'll probably still use the old evaluation forms for this year yet. I am going to do an evaluation of everybody before I leave and hand it to the mayor. I understand this is what, the middle of October, it's usually due December 1st. But, you know, there may not be anybody coming in between now and the end of the year. And I think it's only fair that the employees get evaluated by someone who's worked with them for a whole year. So I am going to have Jeff prepare legislation for the next meeting. And that will be those job descriptions that we redid and we passed by motion. We have to pass that by ordinance because it's in the employee manual, which was passed by ordinance. So he will have it for the next meeting once I get it to him. So that's where I'm on.
Okay, so then we move on to the cemetery project.
Right. That project is almost completed. As you can see tonight, there is an ordinance for the fees that we passed by motion at the last meeting. And that will be, and what we'll need with that, that's in your packet, Mr. Foreman, the ordinance. And we'll need a sponsor for that.
I can sponsor it.
Okay, so we have a sponsor. Moving on. my advice
Well,
is on-
you need to,
Nick, I'm going to take down.
yeah, make a motion to take council.
and
I
you want to
move-
sponsor.
Yeah, I will move that we refer ordinance number 2022-37, amending the cemetery rates to council.
47.
Foreman,
Yes.
Chalkman,
Yes.
Okay. So, that pretty well covers goals, and then we move on to old business, which was the cemetery fee ordinance,
Right,
which we just handled.
right.
Yes,
And do we have any new business?
not at this time.
Okay, it appears that our next meeting will be held on the second Monday in November, Yeah, 14th at 6:45 PM, immediately following the finals. Motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Aye.
Okay, so now where's Jeffrey? That's probably the quickest meeting we've done.
6:50.
I know.
Okay, so the pause recording. Recording pause, stop video.
Okay, I got a question. We talked about the last thing, for the 2022-36 about moving the line out there. Is that what that 4.136, isn't that the agreement, or is that, out there on Holden Road? Isn't that what that ordinance about?
No.
No, it was about the new 256 and 37, yeah?
That is,
That is the one.
that's the moving of the sewer, the repositioning of the sewer line.
Okay.
And if you remember right, that was when that Tim wanted everybody to know for sure that that the village of Baltimore was not holding up the progress on the corner, that we can do this at any time. So that is just the movement of relocation of the sewer pipe, which needs a PTI now because it's more than 1,000 feet of pipe that we're moving. So B3 is in the process of getting us up.
The state will reimburse too.
The state will reimburse like for like. So I believe, I'm not sure about the PTI. I would think that they should, but you know what, we just had a meeting about this last
They picked the
Monday.
whole bill,
Last Monday, we had a meeting with B3, and I do not think that's one of the questions I asked them, but I will.
What's that? About
State reimbursing us for all.
For the PTI.
PTI, I think they said they submitted, it takes 2 to 3 weeks. I think.
No, Brian, who's gonna pay?
Sorry.
PTI needs to be, I'll find out who's gonna pay for that, but the rest of the project, because Mike was very careful to make sure that we did like for like, that will be paid for by the state.
And I know that come out of service last meeting, right?
Yes.
So I need a sponsor tonight, that's the reason I'm getting that.
Oh, okay. I
So
thought you wanted to
I'm writing my
talk.
notes here a little bit, so we have a fast meeting.
He's previewing the meeting, he's gonna be at 4 minutes. Got them bar.
I gotta read this.
Yeah, Rick. You hold it 4 minutes, dude, I'm telling you. Yeah.
Yeah, so you want to sponsor.
This is pretty good.
I couldn't remember, did we talked about that?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah, Mr. L said he thinks that the PTI is.
It was reimbursable.
Oh, we talked,
I'm pretty sure. the
We were in a
B3
meeting that we
Yeah.
talked a lot
Yeah.
about a lot of things down in my book, so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm 99% sure that's reimbursable.
that's 36.
Or what's called the corner project.
Is that? Been through or just emergency so it takes that meeting?
For the corner project?
Yeah.
No, we don't need it as an emergency.
Obviously.
Because what we'll do is do the reading and then say maybe Mike gets a PTI back and they're gonna go ahead and do it. Then you can just at the second reading say we want to pass it as emergency. I would carry that through as just regular. If you're gonna have to see if we have that swing in land and buildings because we need to increase appropriations. So, and it needs to be done, because I know that we want them to get that finished. Otherwise, we're gonna have a real mess on the hands. I didn't need to spend it.
That's really.
Did they ever get that straightened out?
They're supposed to give us.
Yeah, I can just move it right now.
Yeah.
It's for this building, Brian. We lost during the windstorm. Earlier this year, we lost the
Yeah, I see.
end of it, the
So,
soffit up there. So we don't want the water to get back, and there are a couple of tiles that need to be repaired. So
these guys were out Thursday, last week, I want to say it was, we took them up on the road, and there's a lot of sealing and some flashing around the chains and things that needs to get redone. Requires work to do, obviously, that's all it requires work to do.
Can you put that window?
Someone's there.
well, this is 5,000. That's a good price, I think, for everything they need to do up there, and they will have a lift, but I don't know if they would be, you know, that's something you can talk to. Who's gonna rent the lift this week?
They're
Voucher?
They're projected to it. When the
I know
lift
you're
alone
running
is
there.
about 18.
If you're getting a lift and doing the work up there.
Well, we're not getting the lift. The vendor's paying for the lift, which is around 1,800.
Well, they can be, there should be something inside.
But that's not-
Which window is it?
It's the one that has like the top cut out, like they had some sort of fan or something in it, and it's the one over the door. They got
Okay, because I know the one that we went out, it was all there to get on the roof.
There's two of them on that side. One's on the level. No, they're both on the lower level.
I know there's a board in one of them.
Yeah. well, you
Yeah,
gotta
there's a
get
board on
ladder
part of
because
one
it's-
of it.
It's up high.
Yeah, that one's up high above the door. And then the other one is, it's the one that something fell out of.
But wasn't it that pane of glass? Don't we have plexiglass in it now or something?
So that's one of the two.
Steve can point it out. He knows
Yeah.
exactly which one it is.
Yeah.
Not me.
Right. Well, I don't think that's a bad price for, if that includes the, yeah. And how long did they say it would take them?
I think it's just a
When they do
day.
it now?
I think it's just there.
It's at the 86-foot boomer needed.
I'm not sure how much is in lands and buildings, but I would.
Question on the lawn that's gonna go in. Is that gonna run in front of my house? Is that gonna be torn up on that little alleyway? So it's going to go out across North Company over the other side and it's all on West Main. Okay. I just wanted
It's
to-
going to go under. something. So
In the direction of the board.
Yes, it'll be,
In that
we're gonna put a catch basin in the, right across the street from your house, but it would always flood right there.
Which
We're
we
Yes,
still love.
yeah.
putting a catch basin right there. That pipe will tie in
Okay,
and it will come back to the east to the existing catch basin that was there. It's getting replaced.
so is that gonna assist with the drainage then there between Rachel's and, Al's? So
You got me there.
there's a property, it's Rachel's property, which is on Liberty. It's where it always floods in
Where the
that.
gardens?
Yes, yes.
Yes, we already dug that pipe from that existing catch basin to the south. That has been installed. We did that.
That's
Yes.
what was, whatever was done on that little
Yep.
corner of Meyer. That's what, I haven't touched that since you guys have been there, because I didn't know if anything else was gonna happen there or not.
Yes.
So that part is finished.
That part is pretty much finished.
I'm not gonna touch it until you guys are sure you're finished. And do I need to prepare to park elsewhere? I'm the only one. No, because Teresa parks on that street too. I didn't know when you go to put those new. The
Catch
concrete
basins,
basins
catch
in.
basins.
Yeah.
No, shouldn't affect
Okay, I just want to make sure I was in the right spot, so.
No, that should not affect you at all, and that should, it was supposed to start today, the contractor had an equipment right now, so they will be here as you would. Yeah, that should.
Chief, what do you think about the idea of making that street North Company one way? So that's one way at the other end off 256, do you think that that's?
Well, I would
just from knowing some of the people who live on that street, I would definitely.
just so you know, I won't be at the next meeting. Gotta be service.
My understanding is that the people in the area that's between Maple and Washington, that many of them would be in favor of it because of it's so narrow and, I mean, and I can have Michelle, it's Michelle and Jason who brought that.
Yeah, I just,
around
again,
and
there's a
asked.
couple people down there that know more than me, but I can tell you right now about it. So, but anything, I think anything the council decides to do, all of them is not going to make everybody happy. But
Because the people that I've heard from would prefer it be one way because it's so narrow and because people can speed in that very short section of the street. So obviously it would be two-way once you again get West Maple, so the people down there in that private street.
yeah, that would be my only thing, whether it's a board or some other neighbors, or just so that you guys
Just
have a
wondering.
feel for that.
Maybe that's it Michelle wants to do. Take that one, so.
So the people on the cul-de-sac would have to come out to Maple Street and go to Market Street, like they did to the school,
They would,
Trying to map that out
they
in my
would take it right there on Maple.
and go out to Market Street to get to like the school or something.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's the people back there are the biggest offenders.
They probably continue to. It's kind of like come way down there to get back over there, you know that?
A lot of people don't use the stop sign.
In every part of town.
Well, but I think that area right now, counting up the number of young children that are out there.
Young drivers.
No.
Oh,
Either
little
bicycles or walking. There are a lot, you've probably seen them out there if you've been working. There are at least, one of the family has 5 alone.
So there's very few children, not adults.
Yeah, no, these are young children, riding their bicycles or walking or playing in their yards, but they're at least a dozen, because one family, like I said, has 5. I can't think of his name. It's on the Violet Township Fire.
They come down and play with my grandson.
Yeah, there are quite a few, and then you have some that live on that street on North Company that they walk the alley all the time to go play with children over on Liberty. So it's really.
They haven't heard anything back?
Our spin on it. I think that was a great purchase.
That was gonna be something.
Oh.
But since we're all sitting here, the time to kill.
There we go. I was just thinking about that.
Are we still waiting for that part?
Well, we got part, and we got another part, and another part, did not work. They actually removed it in my computer, and I directly connected the hardwire and put a sign, and still did that, not be able to work. So that came out, so I'll take care of it, and send them the sign, send them the sign. Got it. Still did not do the work. And not reprogram the sign. This one did not have a place for the hardwire into the sign. And they took control of my computer again, tried to recontrol it, reconfigure everything, recontrol the sign, still.
I'll tell you, when we first put that in the speed zone on South Main, that thing was.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great tool. And it's not every replaced it. I was gonna say warranty. Everybody's completion of it.
You know, I will tell you, we're not the only ones having trouble because RC, that one also, that they cannot get to work. It's because, I don't know, the technical people from that company are just not,
It's every time that I had to get through an issue, it's do this, do that, do this, okay. Well, you found this is a bad part. Okay, you send me another part. I wait, never heard of it, you know, buy
was such a name, but we wouldn't. For them, it's just their customer service.
So I think that, I don't know, I do know, again, that he had trouble with this, and then buy another one, constantly sent by a bunch of them, put around the college.
Is there a place we can really bad review?
Well, that's good.
Like Amazon,
Yeah.
your service sucks.
So I don't know if there's another company out there. You know, have we even, I
Yeah,
haven't.
because that
looked.
was, that you could see people, it worked.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
Everybody.
out here, we ran the numbers on the side here, we had a lot of complaints inbound. and market. I mean, it's got a bunch of
No, we're
service.
not.
Yeah.
saying
So, I mean, they're great tools.
That's what I'm saying, the cancer.
Now, there's another company, I think, it's sold, it's called Speech. It's not Speech Trade.
I know there's another one.
And it's, we had those doors. And I'm telling you what, this thing's gonna go through a hurricane, you can't hurt it. But they're under the house. in that price.
They're more expensive. This one was cheaper, that is correct. And
Just to get better
Well,
service
and
and
we're-
replace it.
We're understanding why. We
It's
either
like
waste
a
this
steal.
money, or we can actually get something good out of it, it's bigger about it. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, I spent hours and hours and hours. on it.
So that's not even counting your time.
Yeah, exactly. So I spent.
Yes.
The speed trap is, and again, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm positive the company's changed names, but what makes them so reliable is they use old technology. So they use the same
What's it called?
thing that we use, like, our laser we have for traffic control. Basically, it's a giant metal box with one of those mounted in it. And it has its own onboard deep cycle batteries. It's mounted on, I think, 12-inch wheels or something like that. I mean, you can move it like that. It's really neat. The newer ones also have a fold up where the sign is and the double fold, and it's solar.
Yeah.
So during the day, it charges those batteries and run all night long.
but it's gonna be more expensive.
It is.
Well,
Yeah, well, no,
I mean-
that's true. But I just think it's the difference, I think you nailed it, the technology difference.
Well, they're amazing tools. It's just like having a police car sitting there.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is.
No,
and what was the company we used that you said that was called,
Originally,
yes.
Speed Trail is what it's called in the bottom, but I know that it has changed things, so I'm not sure what it's.
I just found several on here, of course.
yeah, there are more companies out there, this was just.
Yeah, just don't do traffic logics.
That's what I was asking.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Boy.
What are you going to do? A review?
Yeah. Are you believe we're
Wow.
doing
I could leave a scathing review.
well?
Don't think it's me.
Better yet.
I wouldn't do that to Terry.
It was a great one. And the cloud that we had, you could do so much.
It's fantastic.
The car counts, traffic counts.
Yeah, so it's a great tool.
It was,
To get that, to collect data and traffic patterns. and-
but also the cloud thing was like $15 a year. You want to retain the traffic.
That was the other thing, it was almost
Yeah.
like a, what do you call that, a bait and switch? Because, oh yeah, you can get this with your
Mhm.
service, now you gotta pay $1,800 a year to get it.
It was.
Yeah,
that's
astronomical.
That's why it's not working.
Maybe this would be something for us to research a little bit. What do you think? Do you think we can do some research for safety and look
Yeah,
at some of these different brands?
yeah, I think it's now called flow.alltrafficsolutions.com.
I went past it with Tina's house.
And then the
comments
secondary
came out.
one is called
I thought
Traffic
they were gonna pick it up.
Logic, spelled
And
LOGI.
that's what he said to avoid.
Okay.
No traffic logic.
So, you know, this whole traffic solutions is
I
the
asked
one
them to leave it for a week, because they don't
that's
like.
been
to
around
run,
for
but I like it.
eons. So,
I would keep an eye on it. Because you'll need to get.
I personally think that we could go, being that the expense
Because
on
you
lights
might
is on
really
crazy,
get to see.
to look at something
So
solar.
have you worked on those?
To be put in place.
That 10
the good thing
minutes.
about the solar is, like I said, the first one we had, which was in,
That's all right, that's all right.
Had
Let me
to
test
decide to
that,
have
and then I'll send it out to
and-
everybody. That
and they work
seems to
great,
like really good.
but
to
you
me,
just have to
though.
tell
So I
yourself
put it out
that
there and
you
then
have
they'll
to-
go, "Oh, yeah,
we had
Terry,
like
that's not
6-inch
right," blah, blah, blah,
trailers,
blah.
so we had like 2 or 3 hours at a time. We would go pull one in and put a new one back and then put that one on the charger. And after 24 hours, you could put it back in the cycle. So we were constantly moving the trailers around. We got personnel to do it, we had a pickup truck to do it with, you know, so it wasn't a big deal. But the solar one, again,
That's the best.
the people that have them all say, as long as, yeah, it'll set up in months. No issues.
Honestly, with that subdivision going in, everything, the traffic is going to increase greatly.
Oh, absolutely.
Seems like it would be worth our while, maybe to invest in something to deter speeding over in that area.
I think that would be a good.
Permanently, like to have one that would be permanent.
That would be a good project for safety. Yeah, definitely.
I can make a call, you know, and see what they're using now.
Yeah, I mean, just, we can get some different prices and look at ones that are mobile. But look at the difference between the cost of, say, one with solar permanent or solar mobile.
Well, as a rule, they'll bring one down and set it up. And so you can see what it does.
Okay.
I'll check and see, you know, who knows, the other place may have some of those old ones still, if they do, it might be something they would do LESO, we could do a swap with them.
Yeah, that'd be nice, especially since once traffic opens back up.
Yeah, that's gonna be a race.
We're not gonna know what to do if they open it back up.
I think you're right.
How many people have you had reported, like, that are always, they're going the wrong way, just they're like, screw this, I'm going this way anyway?
Not so much there, but when you can only go so far and you can't get to the Dairy Queen, people would completely freak out. And they would just drive left to center and go the wrong lane because they had to have that ice cream.
I need my hot dog today.
Wow. Sometimes you get out a whole road on 37.
Oh, I
think from,
Yeah, yeah.
It's almost safer to drive the wrong way. Not that I did it.
Are you telling on yourself?
Especially now I got a little bit of asphalt down. There was times I
saw
did the whole road, I was
I saw
thinking, man, we're
Ray
getting
or
better, you know?
Silver Tundra going the wrong way.
It's stupid.
Yeah, because I like those ones that have the speed limit posted and then right below it, you are going.
Well, I guess you have to look at it, you know, the duration too. So I don't know exactly what that other costs, but it's clearly not going in. You buy one of these, and you know. I mean, we had trailers up there that were 6-7 years old.
Yeah, so we're talking about something like that.
Let's see, that's that little flip flop.
Yeah, we can just move it. We could try solving this out. Portable, trailer mounted or the speed sign.
But we didn't make the decision. We can't get it until it's late.
I know.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, that's really sad. We don't have a very good council in the room.
Oh, sure. Well, 3 first, 3 second, and 1 third. Some of them will have to pass that. Some of
Yeah,
them.
yeah. Yeah.
Should we have time to stand?
Well,
Still, we have the same.
half hour.
Okay, so this one is 2, right? Okay, that's why. Cheaper version. I think it's from. See, so. This is for people who can't see. That'd be good.
So electric shock in your car.
Red
That's the
laser.
technology we work on.
Okay, now this one's large, but we don't need that, so it's just. This is one, see what this is.
That one is towards,
That's what I was just thinking, this one
Yeah, that
doesn't
one's-
have the data,
no, that's just like the temporary speed.
it doesn't have that
Doesn't show
IQ.
the speed.
Yeah, it's,
That mini is probably gonna be as close as you get from the past. Doc certified.
it doesn't have the potential to hook up to the- Yeah, so. Portable, or that. Maybe download it for wireless. Wireless.
You could actually pull up, cruiser setup, you could actually pull up and download it right there.
Yeah.
All right, just so you know, we're not talking about that.
Yeah.
We're done.
This is
That's different.
traffic cones radar feedback. So of course, contact us, but I wonder if you could just send, have them send us information. And then other locations. Get an idea, it's different.
I just sent an email to the chief of the yesterday.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, right.
You can tell them what not to.
Yeah. But even if we can get, I'm telling you, these ones, even if it's 6, 7 years old, the worst case scenario that could matter. They never go bad. Those laser things, because we're not using it for speed enforcement, we don't have to have those certified calibrated anything.
Oh.
So.
If there's one that would, that'd be great, because I think that really helped.
Then I'll get on LESO tomorrow also, putting a part out statewide, so everybody's got it. But, yeah, I think that's probably our best bet as far as if we do the purchase to know that. That's small, easy to move, but that's everything we want to do. I was really looking forward to having all that traffic data to tell you the truth. That was one time ago. They just said that. A little bit late because they just got rid of one of the old ones because it had some rust on it.
Oh my gosh.
So, oh, you understand? No, I have rust. That is just not allowed.
Isn't there a thing called Rust-Oleum?
There's a spray paint shop.
I know, that's what I'm like.
I'm not sure why there's a spray paint shop, but there's a spray paint.
Well, if there was one there, someplace like Malden or Greenville, surely one of those has rust. It can't have out in the public field.
I could tell you stories.
I bet you could.
Crazy stuff. We used to buy new cars based on who better buying cars.
On what?
New cruisers,
On what?
based on who WP would buy new cars.
Oh,
Because that was,
yeah.
we were like,
I could see
like
that.
this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the road courses I went to.
Same kind of
They
thing.
have, Fairport has canal, so bad. Now they're both building buildings. I mean, they're literally building buildings with no tenants. Empty buildings. And they built the empty building with empty tenants, so now they're gonna do the interior decor on the building to try to attract tenants.
What do you guys think? You're getting all of these emails from Tanya or Tammy or whatever. What do you think about that problem?
Well,
What's your thought on
I think it would be the magistrate.
Oh, don't even take me there.
We're wasting our money.
Don't even.
Before we had mayor's court, it was, I mean, you don't have to be a money maker, but it's got to at least pay for itself. And it should. And it doesn't. And the person who we've tasked with pulling these people in and holding them accountable has complained to me that we, council, is not holding our mayor's court accountable, and that's our fault.
So what do we do? Do I need
We
to
have
sit on
to,
there?
we have to go show up and tell them, you're gonna have to take these people home. That 2 month extension, they already gave you 6 weeks and now 2 months, and they're never gonna clean up their act, if they just keep going soft on it.
We can't get a new violation.
We have to do the new person, or that person has to do their job. We have a mayor's court, that has no people.
They have to make something stick.
In fact, I had asked at one meeting to have the results of what the rulings were. In those. That was right after Brett complained to me that we were spending all this money. And it's wasted because they won't just hold the people accountable.
Well, I'm assuming, this is what I'm thinking. So if we hold them accountable, which they should, we have to be prepared to pay. So if we have shitty
We're paying
properties,
now.
Liberty Street,
We're paying now.
that now is burned up essentially. Are we prepared then to say, fine, you're not taking care of it, we're gonna take possession and to pay to have it cleaned up, torn down, and then put it on the market? Like, are those things that we have the resources to do, that we want to do?
Forever to do that, take over the property.
Right, I mean, that's
How long it take most to care?
what I'm saying.
I was there forever, so. I know what you're saying.
I mean, I'm just saying, we have to be prepared if we're gonna have more.
The speed process.
They wouldn't-
We have to go through.
Yeah.
But just every time they come back, they just say, oh, well, if you're gonna do better, all right, we'll give you work on.
Well, it's,
Did
if
you?
if any improvement is seen, that's when they get the extension. I mean, that's literally what it is.
A
So
lot of
if
times
they,
just do enough to
Yeah.
get by. So
From
they gotta
personal-
be held to a higher.
Right. I mean,
I mean, we,
the bare minimum is done, but as long as they meet that bare minimum, that's why they get this extension. So
I don't think
it's,
most of them-
I haven't seen any changes looking at that. They didn't even clean their front porch. My neighbor did clean their front porch.
No, it doesn't do anything to hire.
So then, I'd be interested, so what is the next step? I mean, she's already coming to board.
Get new extensions. They're not gonna change it.
So if she comes in and she's found guilty, that's what I'm saying, is it jail? I mean, that, like, my neighbor had to go to jail for 10. And
You in
then,
charge? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, but it has to be that. That's it.
so that, is that something we need to speak with Jeff about? If we're concerned that their
Good.
nurse board is not.
Let's see if we council can look at it. Since they
Off the
took
record.
pride, so it's under goal. I don't know how we got the one back. We can ask for how was this case handled in their update on their. If there's anybody here, that what happened in their.
Jeff knows that. Maybe I don't know. Do you?
No, I'm sorry.
We're talking about nurse point.
Okay.
Go ahead. What was
He said almost the results there never get reported to council. And we're wondering how we can get access to those results because we're needing them to be a little more aggressive.
Well, I would
They seem to give nothing but extensions and forgiveness and more time and no real consequences.
My understanding is that almost everything is computerized. So in other words, they have a program for that. So I would think that Missy could generate some sort of report just by going in for a date certain and printing out, and a lot of communities do this. We'll print out the names of the defendants, what the charges were, what the disposition was. They can't reveal social security numbers, obviously,
Right,
that sort of thing. But I don't see why that.
Put on the website out there, on our village website.
Or generate a
You
report.
never have this one.
No, we haven't had.
I don't know anything about what's going on. with Mayor's
I mean-
Court. And all I'm hearing from people who are involved and know is that we're wasting our time and our money because they're not holding the people who are pulled in accountable.
And we're becoming more directly involved because we are getting
Community members are
emails
complaining to us.
from citizens. Actually, it's not from a citizen, it's from a person that is the daughter of a
Relative
citizen.
of the citizen.
Yes, and who they've consistently had issues with my property on Mulberry, which maybe you're already aware of this, but we're just trying to understand how we
Sure.
can.
I have to talk to Missy this week anyway. I'll ask her about that because I don't see why a report can't be done.
Well, yeah, we remember she used to do that.
Yeah, and I know other communities, other municipalities that do it. So
Or she wouldn't have to make paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, go in and maybe.
We're being asked what we're doing to solve these problems. And as far as I can tell, we are doing nothing because I don't have any reporting back as to what occurred.
Okay, let me talk to her, see if I can find out. Okay. Sure. So unfortunately, your vacation plans got changed. That's the hurricane.
Except for the island. I went there. Actually, so all the streets out.
What did you like?
I just watched down 60 Minutes last night.
Problem with God is when that 18 inches out the studio line. So puts everything so low. They're not too long.
So when that surge came in, it was over. So, yeah, I kind of wondered about that too.
Now, then you should look up, it's called Babcock Ranch. So it was a development specifically built to
That's why I heard
be
of it.
hurricane proof.
Yes, and I was watching that on television. 60 Minutes had a special on it.
It was part of that last night. I'm like,
Yeah,
I
and I
looked it
knew
up.
where that was at, Chuck, because I was gonna say something to you about it. But I know they were near the water because the guy that was talking, looking over his deck near the water, but all the houses are solar, all of the infrastructure is underneath, and they're all built with special materials. So they're, yeah,
They withstood the
got-
150-mile-an-hour winds. They were in their homes watching it take place. It's also like 34 feet above the minimum. And it's above the minimum height safety, so they were line, like 440 acres in it was of solar panels. They invested in 96,000 acres is what they purchased. And there are 5,000 residents in that development.
and they say that it's gonna grow.
Oh, now, I mean, I'm sitting there going, look out, and then I looked at the property, like, I figured, I was guessing, I'm like, I bet they started at 800,000. And the one I opened up was 900,000.
Yeah.
I was like, woo.
They're not for us.
Well,
Yeah,
not
no,
for me.
no, I'm a
I'll
teacher.
pass on
There's
it.
a lot of retired teachers living there.
Yeah, right, they're in the mobile homes.
They're floating down the road.
The wall parts.
Yeah.
You know, Ed and Dee, for Joe Barter, sure. I heard that they lost their place down there. And that's where I heard I hadn't talked to them. But they're right in there. They were in North Hampton, something like
Down to the church that was, he was in a community, but they're only like double wides, you know, it's they're not down. He has an aerial picture of the before and after. And so this is very vibrant community. And it looks like somebody could have schooled you. Fourth time he's been brought out, he's like, I'm like, well, slowing the uptake here. man. Okay.
I mean, if you're gonna build there, that's there.
They said that the back side of it, from, on Tampa, because Tampa was higher up, that it sucked the water out of the bay instead of pushing the water in. But there were places in the bay that were, it was never been.
You walk out there and places.
Yeah. It was like so weird.
Of course, sometimes I think total destruction is better than partial destruction.
For a lot of people, that's exactly it. One of the parts of that last night's episode, was 60 minutes, a gentleman had turned his company around to using his, what are they called? Drones, yes, where he was going in, if you saw it. Yeah, and so he was doing this work for people. That he actually drove through the neighborhoods and walked in some of the houses for people that. Service.
So it's in the one that's like the middle of all of it. It's around. There was one, several years ago, there was one that the whole neighborhood was destroyed except one house. And it happened again in Fort Myers, there was one house that was hurricane proof that is virtually untouched. So it can be done.
Yes.
It ain't cheap, I'm sure.
Yeah. No.
It's not a double.
We're not neighbors for a while.
Yeah, that's the bad part.
Right.
All the infrastructure around it's gone too.
Just the snakes and that.
Yeah.
Oh, they're out of control, so they're setting up standards.
What is the snake?
Snakes and alligators.
There's a huge bounty program down there. On the coast of Citrus. All the sheep and found his pets and like, man, this thing 6 foot long, how do I do it? So they're down there.
My dog.
Yeah. So now the Everglades is completely overrun with these, some 10, 12 footers. And they have a bounty. It's got not hunting, but it's so much per snake. I didn't know this, I've never heard of some meat. Like home shelters and stuff.
It tastes like chicken.
It's like chicken and pork.
Gator tastes like chicken.
Oh, they should taste like chicken. That's nice.
Don't they say that about all wild game? You hear that, oh, it tastes just like.
Oh, it is. Jeff could probably tell you a lot about that. It does.
If you need an assistant. Oh, Joe, that's how long Rick's meeting was tonight.
4 minutes.
You're bragging already. Chuck's getting
Yeah,
trucked
so-
though. Yeah, Chuck's getting trucked.
The chief better talk fast.
Speaking of wild games, so one of my students came in last week, and she was telling me this horrible story about her going out checking traps. Sorry, but I'm not a big trap person, especially the big bear traps. So they caught, well, they're the call traps.
Oh. I think it's
Leg
bears.
traps.
Yeah, it's a leg
People
trap.
order them through our store
It's
against my
great.
wife's and.
Yeah, yeah. So
They
they,
just do it online.
they caught a couple things, one of which was a bobcat kitten with its paw caught in it. Then she showed me a picture of it. I'm like,
It just got worse.
like,
Yeah,
Really?
Ron gets very upset when it's coming. in.
Really? they said, yeah, they're in the shop. I'm like,
But I'll always remember about your wife is that time that you told us that she believes nothing dies, that you're gonna be dead for a while or whatever before she realizes. I tell people that all the time. I think that is so cute. I know somebody who doesn't want to give up. Yeah, yeah.
You don't have to do it.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I'll have to have it definite, do not resuscitate.
You need to have it taped to your door.
Yes. Say, you're not done. You keep trying. He's not dead yet.
Hit him again.
Yeah. right. Oh, we're having one, we're having one. That's pretty cool, but-
Do you have a bunch of calls on here about running dogs? You laugh, that's on my phone. I have spared you many times.
And you're most gracious for doing that.
Aw.
Just like, oh, man. I've got another neighbor contacted me today, not any of the previous neighbors, a new one for this, and I must not be sharing my number. I'm very thankful. They have another text going on.
Some people call in to get really, really angry because we want to. Put a muddy dog in the back of the police car, where humans are going to be right. I can't do that. So we call down to animal control, and the Humane Society, they're usually pretty good about coming up and taking care of it.
Were you too loud?
Are you arguing again?
It was I take full responsibility. I parked in front of someone's driveway and didn't realize it was, I don't know, just didn't realize it was a driveway. Yeah, my driveway.
Did you get a ticket?
And they just came and knocked on my door and. I took care of the car. I was like, sorry, I can do it.
I don't see it on here by name. so I
I redacted all the names.
Redacted all
I
the
didn't want to embarrass myself.
Brian, you know, no. You got everything, Brian?
Okay, it's 7:30. We'll call in the village Baldwin Council to order. It's going to continue with the prayer and the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Brian, please give us a roll call.
Cosgray.
Present.
Mormon.
Present.
Keller.
Present.
McCreary.
Present.
Reed is absent, and Schaffner.
Present.
Okay, we have 5 present, we got a quorum for tonight. Approval of the minutes of September 26, 2022 minutes.
I was I didn't see any problem with it, I make a motion we accept these written.
Do I hear a second?
Schaffner seconds.
Any question on the motion? Hearing roll call. Brian?
Cosgray.
Yes.
Mormon.
Yes.
Keller.
Yes.
McCreary.
I wasn't here. That's it.
And Schaffner.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed for approve, 1 abstain. Approval of the agenda for tonight.
Or makes a motion we approve it.
Okay, 2 seconds. We have a motion second. Approve the agenda. Any question?
Who seconded it? I didn't hear.
So I should repeat. I thought. And I know we got a couple first reading and a resolution, and then we do have sponsor form. So Jeff, you would know, on 2022-36, Wade's going to sponsor that one. 2022-37, Debbie Stockner, and 2022-38 is. Okay, well, roll call, change the motion.
We had, okay, Cosgray.
Yes.
Mormon.
Yes.
Keller.
Yes.
McCreary.
Yes.
Schaffner.
Yes.
Okay, visitors. Don't see any online, nobody in here, so no visitors tonight. Report, buildings administrator report, we'll start with the mayor, since he's not here. He didn't need to report or anything. Okay. Buildings administrator, I don't know, Tim, you want to?
The water plant, for the last meeting, the air compressor drying system is now complete. Lightning strike insurance claim check has been issued, I believe received, correct? The wastewater sludge hauling should begin very soon. Actually, by there over the weekend, the crops are on. Put it on. Some mixers on order. So to support, again, the check for the lightning strike. We received the material for the rebuild of the surge suppressor for the switchgear, the generator took out. Fire hydrant painting is complete on streets. Pretty good. Maple Storm, hopefully this week will be complete. We pick up October 24th. Trick or treat is October 27th.
Oh, I don't.
No.
31st,
Oh,
31st.
31st, sorry, I told him the 27th. No, it's okay, 31st.
Sorry.
Okay. Anybody have anything you want to talk to you, Kim, or anything? Let's go off. Brian.
I have nothing more to add tonight.
All right. Anybody have any questions, Brian? So it's your Jeff.
3 new pieces of legislation. Again, they all have sponsors, as has already been indicated. Several of them carry emergency language. I'll defer to the village administrator for which ones should be considered for passage on an emergency basis. And that's all I have.
Village Council Committee report, finance. So we had a meeting tonight. Brian went over finance and being 9 months before the year, everything's in good shape. Resolution, we went over resolution 2022-38, with responsible by. And it was a ODNR grant for guess, for the trees here in town. So, and I think we did want that passed tonight. Service, wait,
Service hasn't met yet this month. Our next meeting is this meeting at 6 o'clock.
okay, thanks. Safety and that's Carl, isn't it? Oh, thank you, sorry.
Yes, Chuck, we did not meet tonight. Our next meeting will be on the 24th, immediately following service.
Rules,
We met tonight, immediately following finance, and the only thing on the agenda really was the employee evaluation form, which we're gonna put on hold for now, and the cemetery project, which we have ordinance for tonight. We met again.
okay, thank you. Public safety report, chief.
Thank you. I handed out a report tonight, and this is just kind of give you a little bit of an overview. The most important thing to note with this is that the reflected criminal activities, those are actually reports that we took. It does not reflect all the runs we run. So off the top of my head, I'd say that's maybe about 25 to 30% of the runs wrong that we actually end up with a report. We do the report because there's criminal activity we can identify and has the potential for prosecution. So I thought that was something that you might have some interest in to look at. I'm also going to run this at the end of the year, so we'll have the end of the year on that. The first page just kind of gives you an overview of what I look at every month. And this is, these are basically criminal complaints where we've taken a charge or we file charge, we file charge. Interesting enough is that if you look, one of the largest issues that we have had has been domestic complaints and sexual offenses. That seems to be an uptick. We have interviews through Friday. We have 4 viable candidates that are coming in for interviews. Hopefully by Monday or Tuesday, we'll have a selection made and move forward from there. Contact with the school system, so we're good to go and getting the part of this, the cars and things like that up and going. We also were able to go to Cincinnati. We went to a suburb outside of Cincinnati who had over purchased some items for their cars, and they put them on the statewide called LESO. So they ended up giving us screens and computer stands and consoles for the type of cars that we were using. So all in all, that's probably about a $800-900 savings that we won't have to put into the cars we get. And other than that, I think that's all I have. Any questions?
Okay, thank you, chief. Baldwin Joint Fire District Fire Board.
Our last meeting was on September 15th, and we have another meeting coming up here on October 20th.
Village committees and commissions, planning and zoning commission.
We're having, there's going to be a meeting on October 17th, and it's going to be a public hearing for ponds. We've been working on legislation for that, so that will be posted very soon. So October 17th, 7 o'clock.
Tree commission.
The tree commission is in the process of applying again for another canopy grant. Steve Cockrell is getting the information around. I will go ahead and apply for the grant and I'll put Brian down as contact. So again, it would be a match of $2,600, no more than that, as you'll see tonight. And then that is part of the money that we do budgeted every year for the tree committee. So we do a certain amount each year for removal of trees and for the planting of trees. So that money is that money that we budgeted. It's not extra money they're asking for. That's all I have.
Thank you. Records commission. And I know I mean, last meeting there said he did.
No, nothing, they'll have to have a meeting pretty soon, they always have to have one a couple of times a year, so probably they'll have more information next meeting.
Okay. Motions, any motions tonight? Okay, we'll go into ordinance and resolution. First reading, ordinance 2022-36, and ordinance authorizing the village administrator to enter into agreement with the 3 companies for engineering service for the Baltimore Somerset Road Forest Main relocation project in the declaration of emergency, and that was Wade.
Right, yeah, that's the ODOT project out there at 37-256.
And eventually we will get that reimbursed back to us. That's fine. Moving.
No.
Moves back.
We'll go to the second reading on that. That's just kind of like- Okay, thanks. Wade. Ordinance 2022-37, and ordinance to amend chapter 1042 cemeteries of the Baltimore qualification ordinance in order to update various fees, and that's David Shops.
This was referred up from the Rules Committee tonight. This is just an ordinance that upgrades or updates, maybe I should say, the fees for our cemeteries that the village owns. And it's just the first reading. You can go on to second.
Okay, thanks. Resolution 2022-38, and the resolution authorizing the village administrator to submit an agreement application to provide all information, documentation required, eligible for possible funding assistance through the Ohio Department of Natural Resources Urban Candy Preservation Grant Program and the declaration of emergency. And this is-
Yes, tonight, I'd like to bring this before us as a to bypass the 3 reading rule. But we'd like to look for a motion to adopt this particular resolution 2022-38 has to do with assistance and funding through ODNR for our canopy restoration.
Okay, I hear a motion. Do I hear a second on
And I'm sending the motions on bypassing the 3 reading.
Correct.
Okay. Motion. I need a second. Second. Any discussion on the motion to bypass the 3 reading? Hearing none, roll call.
Cosgray,
Yes.
Foreman,
Yes.
Keller,
Yes.
McCreary,
Yes.
Chopper.
Yes.
Okay, motion to bypass passed. So I hear a motion to adopt.
Yes. I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution.
Okay, a motion and a second to adopt resolution 2022-38. Any question on the motion? Hearing none, roll call.
Cosgray,
Yes.
Foreman, yes, Keller,
Yes.
McCreary,
Yes.
Chopper.
Yes.
Okay, the motion to adopt has been approved 5-0. Okay, second reading. Ordinance 2022-31, and ordinance to amend section 1046.02 rules and regulation of the parks, the Baltimore codification ordinance in order to prohibit implant for recreation devices, and that's also like me. And this will go to third reading. These the flow houses, what do you call
The
them?
inflatable.
Bounce houses, yeah.
Yeah.
Similar.
So this would go to the third reading. Okay. Second reading on ordinance 2022-32, in order to amend chapter 1026 of all application ordinance, water and wastewater rules and regulation, in order to establish a fee for placing a door tag at the service location of delinquent utility users. And that's David Shaw.
Yes, this is a second reading. This came up from Service Committee. And this is just simply an ordinance that will establish a $5 fee for placing a door tag for delinquent utility users. And it can go on to third reading.
Okay, that will go to third reading. Yes. Council. Resolution 2022-33, resolution and special use agreement to the Baltimore Downtown Restoration Committee, BDRC, for the use of various storage facility for the winter market. And that you're responsible.
Yeah, this is, I believe it's kind of cool, is it? This is to allow BDRC to host their holiday fest or market. And it can just stay on for 30.
Just one comment on that. Randy, you weren't here at the last council meeting. I modeled this after the resolution we used for the festival committee. So please take a look at it, and if there's anything you don't think needs to be in there or more information needs to be in there, we can amend it. Council can amend it for that's for final third reading. So, okay.
Third reading, ordinance 2022-29, an ordinance authorizing the mayor and the village fiscal officer to execute an agreement between the village of Bowling and the village of Pleasantville for the provision of fleet protection service and the declaration of emergency. And this is sponsored by Attorney Ritter.
Yes, ordinance 2022-29-29. This is an ordinance where we're trying to make sure that the funds are provided and that we are providing the necessary, I guess, what am I saying here? Services, that's the word I'm looking for, services for Pleasantville.
There is an agreement prepared. It may need to be tweaked a little bit, but that won't delay the passage of this.
Good, I'm just gonna ask, yeah, okay. Okay, do I hear a motion to adopt?
I would like to move to adopt this.
Okay, I got a motion to adopt, second,
Schaffner seconds.
so for second, any questions on the ordinance? 2022-29. Hearing none, roll call.
Cosgray,
Yes.
Mormon,
Yes.
Keller,
Yes,
McCreary,
Yes.
Schaffner.
Yes.
okay, that motion, that, the adoption 2022-29 has passed 5-0. Cable workers, none. Any old beer, anybody have any old beer? Any new beer?
I'm here today, on behalf of also the mayor. I wanted to let you know, how well that, Mr. Little has, grown into his new, interim VA position. He's doing a really great job. The mayor's very, very happy with what's happening. He has really, stepped up and I appreciate it. It's, while he listens to me and sees what I do in meetings, it's different when you're on this side of it. So my appreciation for him to take on that extra responsibility, and also from the mayor, big thank you. And again, this will be my last council meeting tonight. So it's been a pleasure again working with all of you. It's a great village, and I look forward to everything that's going to happen in the future. It's going to be good. Thank you.
I'm sure he had a good teacher.
Good notes.
Thank you, Terry. Yeah, good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Anybody else have any new business? Last call. Anybody want to bring anything up? Last call. Y'all ready to get out of here, huh? Okay.
There's a debate
Hearing
going on.
none, the next meeting will be held October 24th at 7:30. Oh, you need a motion.
Formal motion.
Yeah.
I like your way.
Moving vote, moving vote to adjourn.
And is there a second?
I'll second.
You can say it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Meeting adjourned at
7:48.
I was because all that waiting around.
Yeah, we had a-
I couldn't think of the word service. I'm like, nah. Somewhere.
Clarification on this. I have a basic
Hang on. And so the minutes get that, and then I walk up to the shredder, and then unless you-
It's like the start of the special. So they designated one mistake this time.